Good day, Chairwoman Chu and Ranking Member Spano. I'm John Kropf, President of Growth Capital Corp in Cleveland, Ohio, a mission-based not-for-profit lender. And I'm here today to share my experience with how Growth Capital is investing in community with our participation in the SBA Community Advantage Program. Back in 2010, I was actually quite astounded to learn that SBA was rolling out what I considered to be an innovative and cost-effective solution to the problem of small businesses, especially those in underserved markets, having access to affordable financing to found, fund, and grow their companies. And expanding the SBA 7A loan program to not-for-profit mission lenders like Growth Capital, Community Advantage linked a vital federal government loan guarantee mechanism to a healthy, market-based, mission-based product delivery platform focused on serving those small businesses, oftentimes neglected by traditional bank lenders or outright exploited by non-traditional predatory lenders. How astonishing it was to see such innovation coming from a federal bureaucracy like SBA. There was no new department created, no new big government program initiated, no new spending required to launch SBA Community Advantage. Instead, we witnessed the confluence of community-focused, impact-driven organizations like CDC Small Business Finance, Lift Fund, and Growth Capital with the community-focused, impact-driven mandate of SBA. We did not initially apply for the participation in the program because of regulatory restrictions. But in 2012, when SBA allowed for the use of loan service providers along with the sale of CA loan guarantees on the secondary market, we jumped right in and were approved to participate, and jump right in we did, having immediate impact on our communities with our CA lending, joining other prestigious industry leaders that have programmed to date lent more than $680 million to over 5,100 small businesses, 70% in underserved markets. Our average size CA loan is only $133,000 and demonstrates our commitment to small dollar lending to small-sized companies. But these numbers mean a lot more. These numbers are actually much more. These numbers have names and faces. They belong to people like my esteemed colleague Bob Vrilla's borrower here today from Ms. Chu's district. They belong to borrowers like mine. Amy Wong of .org Solutions in Akron, Ohio, who testified here before this committee last year on the importance of SBA Community Advantage Program. These names and faces include other such borrowers like Destiny Burns, a retired naval officer who owns Cleveland Urban Winery, or Catherine Green of Sassafras Land Design, or Jake Fitzpatrick, owner of Clifton Cleaners, and Mark Steinberg of Queen City Gutters in Cincinnati, Ohio. Every one of these borrowers, and indeed almost all of our CA borrowers, are what I describe as the just-missed bank loan. Companies that are creditworthy but just miss the bank lending requirements. And many times, these small loan requests miss the bank profitability requirements and are thus neglected by traditional bank lenders. And many of our banking partners make direct referrals to Growth Capital for CA loans. If these companies are not referred to a CA lender, many times they find alternative high-rate lenders and become outright exploited by non-traditional predatory lenders. We ourselves at Growth Capital just received a solicitation last week for an online loan. The rate was 48.7% when I checked online. So, what is needed? There are several important items that I feel are needed and critical to expand our CA lending. One, increase the guarantee percentage. Currently, it's at 75% on loans up to $250,000 and 85% on loans below $150,000. A guarantee of 85% for all CA loans would dramatically help the liquidity of CA lenders throughout the country. CA loans currently require a guarantee of 85% under $150,000 and actually 90% on international term loans. Growth Capital recently closed an international trade loan, and we actually represent 40% of all CA international trade loans dispersed under the program, and that carries a 90% guarantee. We'd like to do more of those. That small company in Cleveland is actually an exporter selling equipment in Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Hungary, and Romania. And our loan of $250,000 required just $25,000 in capital. In closing, while I While I understand the current political conditions we are under, we CA lenders must currently operate. I understand the true bipartisan approach to supporting small businesses that this committee takes. True bipartisan support is for the CA borrowers previously mentioned: Amy Wong of Dollar Solutions, Destiny Burns, the retired naval officer, Catherine Green of Sassafras Land Design, Jake Fitzpatrick and Clifton Cleaners, and Mark Stenberg of Queen City Gutters in Cincinnati, Ohio. They actually need more than bipartisan support. They and we CA lenders need tri-partisan support. We need to try. We need to try harder as CA lenders. We need to try more as an industry. We need to advance our community advantage lending and really try to do more investing in community. We will try to recognize the importance of financing underserved small business concerns that is inherent, the risk involved in financing underserved businesses, and the capacity of experienced, mission-oriented lenders to manage risk and build sustainable, bankable businesses through our SBA Community Advantage program. I am confident this committee will support. In conclusion, I wish to personally thank Chairwoman Chu and Ranking Member Spano and all the honorable members of this important committee, and know that we all share the same passion and commitment to investing in community. Thank you all, and I'm happy to participate in fielding your questions. Thank you.
Can you tell us briefly if you would support the Community Advantage program being made permanent? How would permanency help small business in underserved areas?
Chairwoman, like any business, us CA lenders are in business. We're operating our own shops. We're private, independent operations. And like any market, like any industry, having the ability to have some level of permanency in the market, to understand that the decisions we make today, we can carry through tomorrow. And without the permanency of the Community Advantage program, there's a lot of uncertainty in the industry and in the marketplace. So we could certainly benefit from that certainty.
Mr. Kropf, you describe, if you would, for the committee, your institution's working relationship with SBA. What I mean by that is, how often do you interact with them? Describe, if you would, their oversight process of your organization.
Sure. Thank you, Congressman. SBA is our primary regulator. So that's one part of the relationship. SBA has a very stringent regulatory regime for certified development companies as well as CA lenders. So from that standpoint, that's really the beginning of the relationship from a regulatory oversight perspective. But we're also partners, especially with the Community Advantage program. We're partners in investing in community. So one of those loans that I'd mentioned, Clifton Cleaners, he went to SBA because he couldn't get a loan from the bank. He went to our local district office. They referred him to us. They understand the type of borrower that a Community Advantage can really assist, and they provided that referral to us. We closed the loan just 2 weeks ago. So that's another important relationship. Not just the regulatory oversight, but the partnerships to invest in community, I think, is also very important.
Yes, and real quickly, in your written testimony, you described a relationship with Fifth Third Bank.
Yes.
And you described that relationship very quickly, and then the benefit to the...
Yes. Fifth Third Bank provides capital for us to lend for our Community Advantage program. It's very innovative in its approach, where we have a warehouse line of credit that we draw on throughout the year to fund our Community Advantage loans. We sell on the secondary market, vitally important for liquidity. We repay a portion of that line of credit. The unguaranteed portion stays on that line throughout the year. We service interest. At the end of the year, they term it out for us long-term to match the loans that we have on the books, the Community Advantage loans.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Mr. Kropf, in your testimony, you mentioned a Community Advantage international trade loan. Can you explain or describe that type of loan? And does it have different terms?
Yes. Thank you, Congressman. The international trade loan has been a subset of 7A for many years. It currently carries as an incentive to support exporters. It provides a 90% loan guarantee to the lender. It's been open for banks, been open to bank participation for years through the export assistance centers throughout the country. We have one in Cleveland. But about 4 years ago, we did the first ever community advantage loan under the International Trade Loan Program. We were the first ones to do it, and we had to work pretty hard to figure that out. But after we did, SBA surprisingly incorporated the international trade program terms to community advantage lenders, and we were able to process that recent loan under our own delegated lending authority. So we were able to support that small exporter who exports asphalt equipment to the Middle East and Eastern Europe when he could not obtain a bank loan. If not for this $250,000 community advantage loan, this company would not have been able to make exports and import wealth into our country, and I think that's vitally important, Congressman.
I would like to hear more about the work California that our community advantage lenders do to reach businesses in underserved markets. I understand that at least 60% of your lender loans must be in an underserved market as defined by SBA. But based on your testimony, all of you target underserved markets very intentionally and did so even before becoming a community advantage lender. Can each lender tell us what percentage of your community advantage loans are in underserved markets?
Sure, Congresswoman. We're over 70% of our CA lending is to underserved markets. And one of the ways that we reach those markets is we partner with community development corporations throughout the markets we serve. These are community-based organizations that support local businesses in their neighborhoods. We provide the resources for the Community Development Corporation to have that outreach in their neighborhoods. They provide loan referrals to us as a community advantage lender. They provide real value in that process, and for that, they earn a small packaging fee that helps support their operations in the local community. So that's been a real good tie for us in being able to reach underserved markets in Cleveland.
Okay. Well, thank you all so very much. This brings us to a close. We want to thank all of you, the witnesses, for taking time out of your schedule to be with us today. SBA's loan program, including the 7A program, is designed to reach borrowers who can't affordably and reasonably access credit from a conventional lender. The Community Advantage takes that important step further by reaching borrowers that even the general 7A program does not reach. As I said in my opening statement, this program reaches significantly more women and minorities than the 7A program. And as we heard today, it is also making a serious impact in our nation's rural communities. Ensuring that this program will be available to future generations of entrepreneurs from underserved communities is a top priority of mine on this committee. I look forward to working to ensure that this program becomes a permanent part of SBA's menu of loan products.